We're going to take a look at Blender's grease pencil and see if we can draw something in 2 dimensions. So not surprisingly, when you open up Blender, you'll want to click on 2D animation. You're going to get this screen. We can actually zoom in or out. I'm using the mouse scroll wheel to do that. And we can just start drawing, but the line looks kind of light. So I'm going to Control Z to undo that. And I'll go up here to strength and set that all the way up to 1. And now when we draw, we've got a nice solid line. So I'm going to start by drawing a car, and it's going to be over here. And you notice it's a little bit off the screen. That's okay, because I'm going to animate it driving onto the screen. Wow, that is one fast looking car. Look at that. Even the tires look fast. Okay. Then I'm going to draw a window here. And we should have somebody in that window with this smile. If I drove a car like that, I would be smiling. Okay, so, and let's have some fast lines coming off the back. All right, so there's a car. We probably want to fill it in. And by the way, I should mention a couple of things. Down here, these are the layers, and these layers are going to be very important. We're going to keep coming back to this. So if I just click the I button, the visibility button, you can see it disappear, so that's definitely the right layer. Now that's the lines layer, but we also have a fills layer. So I'm going to check that off. And to fill something in, we need to do 3 things. We select the fills layer, then we go up here to the fill button, the bucket fill. And we also have a couple more steps. We also have to go from solid stroke, which is basically a line, to solid fill. Okay, now we could just fill this thing in, but it's kind of a gray color, and I don't really like that gray color. What we'll do instead, I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go up here and press this button here for mode. And we want to go with color attribute. Then we can just select the color directly right here. And I think I'm going to take kind of a bluish color. Maybe something like that. That's nice. All right, we'll fill it in. There we go. We got our car, and it missed a little bit. That's okay. There we go. Done. So we've got our car. It's ready to go. You might want to fill the tires in too. We can just select a different color for that. I don't know, sort of a gray color. Wheels are done. So the next step we want to do is maybe animate this thing across the screen. And what I'll do is I'll go to frame, pick a number. Maybe we'll say 200. So let's do 100. So we go to frame 100. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit mode. So we're in draw mode. We're going to go to edit mode. I'm going to select this by using the B key. And the B key brings up this crosshairs. And then I'm dragging with the mouse to select the car. All right, we're on frame 100. That's important. Position it on the frame. Do your selection using the B key. You can see it's a brighter yellow now. If we zoom in, we can see that. And then I'm going to use the G key. G stands for grab. And I'm going to grab the car and drag it all the way over to here. Now, watch what happens. If we go back to, actually, we'll leave it in this mode. But as soon as we go back to frame 99, the car is back to where it started. So it only jumps to frame 100 on that 100th frame. And that's because we have not done frame interpolation yet. So we need to tell it that we want to fill in all of the frames between 0 and 100. Fortunately, it's not hard to do. In edit mode, you have to be in edit mode. We go to grease pencil, interpolate sequence. And look what happened. We have a little bit of a problem. It looked like it did it properly for the fills, probably because we had them selected, but it left the lines behind. That's going to be kind of an interesting car. And so you can see we've got a problem here. So what I'm going to do is just click once on this frame here. I want to deselect everything, but I'm going to select maybe the first frame and then hold down the shift button and select the last frame for the lines, because we want to animate those lines as well. Again, I'll just position this somewhere in the middle between those 2 frames, and we go grease pencil, interpolate sequence, exactly the same thing. And now look at that. You can see we've got both the lines and the fills interpolated. And wow, we've got our first part of our animation. It's kind of exciting. All right, the next thing we might want to do is maybe draw a road. And so a number of ways that we can do this, but most importantly, start with a new layer. So I'm going to click right here for new layer. And by the way, we can also actually see our layers here if we click in the Object Data Properties tab. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the first frame. And I'm going to click plus. And you notice we have a new layer here, and I'm going to call it road lines. And again, we always kind of work, oh, did I do roll? You double click and you can rename it road lines. There we go. And I'm going to draw with the, let's see, back here we go. We have to go into edit mode, or sorry, we have to go into draw mode. We have to select the pencil. We have to go to solid stroke, and then we select a color, and I'm going to pick black. There it is. And I'm going to draw a road. And the road is just going to look like this. It's not perfectly straight. That's okay. Probably what I should have done was drawn the road first and then animated the car. The car's going to go off the road. That's okay. Maybe we want to connect these two, actually. We're going to connect them off screen. And you'll see why in a minute, because we want to fill this in. We're going to add a different color to the road. And if we don't fill it in, it's not going to know how to actually fill that the volume of that shape we drew. I'm just supposed to be drawing lines. Now, I hope that you'll draw better lines in this. Remember, I'm just doing a very quick demo. Now, I'm going to draw right over top of this car, but I'm not drawing on the car because that layer is not selected. In fact, if you want to, what you could do is hide the car, and there we go, it disappears. So we can just focus on the road. We could even change the names of this, and I can say car lines, and I can say car fills. That's just going to help us stay organized. So we've got our road line, we've drawn our lines, we've drawn that. We're going to add a layer, okay, and it's going to be road fill. And now this layer, we actually want it below. Normally you put the fills below so that the lines appear superimposed on top of the colors. Very simple. All we do is go over here now to the, again, to the Object Data Properties window. We select the layer, and we hit the down arrow. Okay, so what I'll do now is with the road fill selected, I do the same process where I go up here to fill, I go up here to solid fill, I go over here to select a color, and I'm going to pick sort of a, I don't know, grayish off-white, I guess, and click the button, and there we go. So now we're not going to put another keyframe in here. This is where layers really help. I'm going to make this visible again. Okay, so we can see the car. We should be able to see the car. What happened to the car? Oh, the car's behind the road. Okay, that's interesting. I would have been very confused there had it not appeared, had I not drawn a crooked road. Okay, so obviously, hopefully obviously to you, what we need to do is drop the road down behind the car. And we'll take the fill down as well too. You can see how it's moving, and all of a sudden the car's appeared on top. And now when we animate this thing, again, it's going off the road because I didn't draw the road very straight. There's things that we could do to fix that, but I'm hoping that you'll do a better job. We could also draw the road first and then start the car over here and finish the car up over here. And that would solve that problem. We could reanimate the car by removing all of these key points that were inserted. And that's what these things are. They're actually key points for each frame of animation. I'm going to use the scroll wheel to zoom in a little bit. And you can actually see those little points. And if I were to move one of those points or delete one of those points, it would just jump a little bit. So each of those points is storing information about the position of that car. Okay, from here you can probably take it on your own. We could draw mountains, we could draw in clouds, we could animate the clouds. Maybe I should do an animated clouds just so you can see that. Yeah, let's do that one more thing that we'll add to this. So again, we always start by adding a layer. Okay, and it's going to be, where's our new layer? GP layer, there we go. And I'm going to call it clouds lines. And we'll draw some clouds up in the sky. Make sure that we've got the pencil selected. Make sure we've got the solid stroke selected. And we're ready to go. Actually, I'm going to show you something kind of cool. Oh, okay, I realize I'm on the wrong layer. I'm going to hit Control Z and undo that. I'm going to go to layer 1 here. We can actually do some transforms here that are kind of cool. The car's going this way, but let's make the clouds go the opposite direction. So I'm going to draw, and it's okay that it's a bit off. That's not going to matter. All right, we've drawn one cloud. Then what I'm going to do is go to my last scene, and rather than move it like we did with the car, I'm actually going to draw another cloud, because clouds do kind of change shape in the sky. Okay, there we go. Now we could color the sky if we wanted to. We've got a key point there, and I don't want that key point. I'm going to delete it. So now there we go. So we've got this to this. And this is the cool thing. If I select these points, all right, and I go to the middle, and I go into edit mode, grease pencil, interpolate sequence, look what it does. We actually have clouds that move and change shape as they move because it's actually morphed it from that initial shape to the final shape. We could put a blue sky in the background. We could draw mountains. I'm going to leave the clouds white. So many things we could do. We could have a sun that moves across. We could have a moon. We could have an airplane. We could have a bird flying. It's really quite endless. Start with a mode of transportation just to get used to the interface. That's what I would suggest doing. And oh, by the way, the animation frames by default are 250. So if I hit the play button, it's going to play 250 frames. I only want 100. Just click over here for our end frame, set it to 100. And if I hit the space bar to play, look what happens. It'll actually cycle through, it'll finish, and then start all over again. Hopefully that's enough to get you started. That's it for now. Over and out.